Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Timone Show. I'm here with my buddy Nasser. How you doing today?
Fine.
Nasser's the fucking master storyteller. He's got a book out called Strange Tales and Poems from the Witch's Cauldron. You can order it on Amazon. I'm gonna post a link in the description below. Uh, and he's also
Thanks.
one of my co-writers in a lot of my in comics and stuff that I'm writing. So fuck yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking
they'll be out in like 10 years.
man, man. Hopefully, I get some money and we can get both like some books out before Comic
How's,
Con.
how's your lawsuit going?
I have my first hearing in February. We'll find out about that. Many of you
February
don't
what?
know, I broke my hand a year ago, or it's been more than a year ago now. Uh,
Yeah, it's been over a year.
it's almost a year and a half ago. I broke my hand, and I'm been waiting on a workman's comp settlement, and I have me and my lawyer neither have no idea how much it's gonna be or what it is. My case is an anomaly, so we're gonna figure it out together. Had my first hearing in February for it,
Yeah, what day in February?
huh?
What day in February?
I don't know, cause they have a hearing first, and then he's gonna contact me, and it's supposed to be like later in the month. I have a letter somewhere. I have all my lawyer letters in a little pile.
Oh, okay. Man, 100 grand or something.
Huh?
I hope you get like 100 grand or something.
That'd be beautiful. That'd be beautiful. I'd fund my first five books. I'd fund some SC books. I'd do. It'd be a good time.
Yeah,
It'd be a good
I'm
time.
hoping I win. I'm hoping I win the lottery this Saturday. It's like 570 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you got to get a ticket. I got a ticket.
I don't know what numbers to pick. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Cheers.
But today, we're not talking about lotteries or winning buttloads of cash. We're not talking about what sexy supermodels we want to bang. We're not talking about who has the best legs in Mega Man. We're not talking about movies. We're not talking about
We're
Sonic.
talking about these nuts.
We're not talking about Sonic the Hedgehog. We're talking about good old fashioned, good old fashioned to good old new fashioned storytelling. The art and history of storytelling. And Master, you're Nasser. You're a master storyteller. What what are some aspects you enjoy about storytelling?
Um, Mostly in comic books when it relies on the art. I like when there's lesser dialogue. Like if you read anything by
This is
Jeff
coming from
Loeb
a
and Tim
writer.
Sale. Well, yeah, but I'm saying what where I'm going with this is I like when it's quicker paced. Is what I'm getting
Yeah,
at. I like when they just get right to the point. Like if you read The Long Halloween by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale, they rely a lot on the art. There's not too many words on each page, and you just get right to the point. I like getting it to the point. On the other hand, I do like Tales from the Crypt in the way that, yes, there's a lot of word balloons, especially back then. It was real wordy, but I like how the stories are really short for those. They would have like four stories an issue, and each one is like 5 pages maybe.
like an Archie book.
And yeah, almost like Archie books.
Yeah, that's cool. See, I'm a fan. Like, I really like what like TV and movies and stuff are doing now, where you get like a whole just like drawn out freaking world built or whatever. And like I do like some short stuff where you get straight to the point, and some stuff that like if it was a TV show that could just end in just like one season and then just boom, or like or stuff like that. But I just really love that because just the drawn out, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I gotta see can't wait to see what happens next, and like, and anime does this a lot, especially the company Shonen Jump. they do this with their mangas and their anime. Well, they'll have like 500 to like 700 ish episode shows or whatever. Or like right now, one of the it's it's one of the world's most popular mangas and animes. It's like right there behind the Batman, Superman, and Spider Man. It's freaking One Piece, and and
I'm familiar with it, even though I don't watch it.
and it just keeps on shooting up in popularity, and it won world records for the longest running manga and anime, and it just keeps on going. I don't even think it's halfway through yet because I watch it every week. I'm a fan.
Well,
and and I never thought I was gonna get into this show because I tried watching it when it first came out in America, and I was like, "This shit is terrible." But it just turns out the American dub was really terrible at the time. But that wasn't my thing. The thing was the animation was really choppy and it looked stupid, and I was like, "This is just gonna be a stupid kids show." And boy, was I wrong. I was like, every not every week, but every time something dynamic in that show happens, it fucking blows my mind, and I'm all like, "Wow, I did not see that coming." Or like,
I don't know. I mean, you say there's like 500 to 700 episodes or something, but I don't think I could watch that much of anything. What I really like is loose ends. I like loose ends and I like contradictions because that's where all the theories come in, and that's when you could really talk about the show. Not when it's there's 700 issues or episodes. We know everything like about the whole universe. There's not really much you can guess about. I like guessing. I like seeing how it turns out, but I don't like being 700 episodes or issues deep.
nah, but that's where you can be wrong. You're right. You're right on a lot of things, but you're wrong on this particular one. Because the writer, he's the writer and the artist. I call him Oda Sensei. His name's Oda. I forget what his last name is. I call him Oda Sensei. And but like he's basically doing successfully what I'm trying to do is like, because he's like the story that he's doing is One Piece, whatever. But he's been planning this whole like this all the like all this shit since he was a kid, and like that's basically like and now and then like and then when I was reading and studying on this guy just earlier last year, like a couple months ago, I was all like I got even more inspired. And I was all like, wow, and he has to push out a new issue every freaking week, and like. But then that also got me thinking about these American artists out here that are all like, oh yeah, I need $200 a page plus lettering, and I'm like, no, you don't. No,
Yeah,
you
they.
don't. These Japanese people are raising a family. I mean, cost of living and everything's totally different in different countries. But like these guys are fucking drawing whole issues in a freaking week, freaking making a living off of fucking scraps. So I'm like, I'll go overseas and hire them before I like, and they're really good and they can crank the shit out. Like I'll hire one of them before I hire one of these guys that are trying to freaking charge $200 a fucking page. You know, like
Some of those guys are worth the money, but some of them are asking outrageous prices in these artist groups I see all over Facebook. Like some kids want $100, and then they tell me I need the $100, and I'm like, can I see some of your work? And they send me some pinups, and I'm like, can I see some comics? They're like, I haven't worked on a comic yet. I'm like, well then you're not worth the $100.
right, 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 exactly, man. But I don't know. I enjoy plays and musicals and stuff a lot because that's a lot of stuff that doesn't have a sequel. You're not gonna go to a play and then be all like, well, I'm not gonna find out what happens next week. Or like they don't do like live action. They should just do some like theater like sitcoms, whatever. Like have a show, like have like a sitcom or whatever. Like it's a play. Like have it tour. So like have it be there, like have it be somewhere for like a month. And when you buy tickets, you get tickets for every single night to see the show or whatever. The fucking or whatever to see how it all pans out. I don't know. I might be onto something here, man.
I don't know. You see, I plays do sound like something I would like if I watched them, especially living here in Chicago. But my high school just did the worst, the cringiest plays, and they really turned me off. I was in one of them, and I had four lines, and I was just supposed to be a dude that was ordering some food. And for the months that we practiced, I had the lines down a certain way. It was a throwaway character, but I mean,
Yeah,
I I was able to make the lines pretty funny, even for somebody that was only in the play for that scene for
yeah,
like 2 minutes max. And the night before, we're practicing, and they're like, "Nah, you can't say your lines this way," because I was saying I'm real goofy.
right.
They're like, "We want people to take this seriously," but the plays, if you watch the plays, you were just roasted the whole time. It's so stupid.
Hold on, you're cutting out, kinda. Hello?
What was that?
You were cutting
Yeah.
out a little bit.
Oh,
You got your main point across,
all right.
but yeah, you were cutting out a lot. Not a lot, but just like a little bit.
Well, well, when you re-upload it, if I'll listen to it, and if anything was left out, I'll just correct it in the comments. That's all we can do since you don't have any editing software. For you listening, you're not gonna be aware of this, but we had to restart this whole thing because we had a mess up, and Tim's like, "Well, I can't edit that out." So this is actually our second go at this thing.
Dude, me and Jeremy did that with Thor, with the Thor review. Like, I thought I hit record, but I accidentally hit the button right below record, and it's called studio mode. I accidentally hit that, and we were talking for like 20 minutes, and I went to go check to see, I was like, just to see how long we were recording, and I'm like, dude, we're not even recording. And the first one was way better than the second one.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah.
and that's and that and that's also, man, storytelling, man. Like, sometimes you can't tell the story how you originally wanted to tell it because there's either a technical difficulty, uh, or you could be like me and your memory sucks because like drinking and drug
Okay.
use and boxing and whatever, or uh, or
Well, outside of bad memory from drinking, I'd say if you forget the idea, it wasn't worth it in the first place. You know.
yeah, right, yeah, 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 because I still remember a lot of main points and stuff of stories that I was thinking about as a kid, and that stuff still sticks with me. So, like, obviously it was worth
Well, when
st-
I was a kid,
sticking with me.
everything I drew because I wanted to be an artist as a kid, everything I drew got thrown out by my mom. So then I became an artist when I was a little kid, and any stories I had thought of, I've pretty much forgotten. Everything I remember from that time being like 8, 9, 10 is all garbage. Anything I remember from that time is garbage. I probably had some good ideas that got thrown out.
Oh man, dude, the current director I have for Team Evolution, well, she's like pretty much on par with Jerry, the that alien chick, dude. She's a character I came up with when I was like probably 7 years old. Like, and I wanted to bring her back into this world we're building, universe we're building.
Yeah, any ideas I have, they're from anywhere from 2014 to now, uh, 2014 to early 2018. That's really everything I've come up with has been during that time.
Hey man, that's a good 4 years of fucking craziness, especially
That's more like a good 3 years.
especially these Night Phantom issues, man. Like when Edgar was trapped. The spoiler alert for Night Phantom fans out there.
Nobody knows who that is yet.
When he was in that world that Kyle put him into, and when he was just like, I was all like, holy shit, dude. Like, What the fuck is Nasser? Did I slip some LSD in Nasser's coffee? Like what the fuck is going on here?
Nobody even know what you're talking about. But the thing with that issue, you're talking about numbers 21 and 22. When I was writing those, I did not know what to do. I was like, I don't know. I was all out of ideas, and I was like two lines into issue 21, and I was like, this is gonna blow. And I got like halfway through, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And then I finished the issue, and out of nowhere, I was just like, wow, this is actually decent. And then I finished issue 22, which concludes that little story arc. But when I started it, I was like, this is going to be the worst thing ever. And by the time I finished the issue, I was like, wow, that's the best Night Phantom story arc we've done.
I like it.
Yeah, me too. Oh man, wait till you read Locked Coffins 14 and 15, man.
I don't
You're
even
gonna
know.
be like, what is
I don't know
this
where I
kid?
left off in lock coffins, but I'll easily remember once I look through them again. This morning, like I was looking through my emails. I'm like, holy shit, I haven't downloaded any of your scripts since November. So I went back and I just went download crazy this morning.
Wow, that's intense. And you're already, oh man, I'm already so much ahead of you, man.
I
I'm
know.
already seven scripts into the
You
year.
got like you got almost like 3 years worth of content written if you do it if you publish monthly for each title, but if you do it twice, whatever, twice a month or yeah, bi-weekly, you got I don't know, you got usually a good year of fucking just like a good year and a half of just fucking boom content just pumped out. You know, like
My
you're a
longest
boss.
one,
You're a boss.
my longest one so far is Anthology. That one has 4 years worth of scripts. Uh, so if I didn't write it for 4 years, we would still be on track for a normal publishing schedule if it came out monthly.
And that's probably the one that I would put some money on or whatever, since you already got that one being worked on by David, and like that's the one I would put some money on. Like if I got when I get this hand money, if I get a lot, that's the one I'd pump out right there.
Yeah, I think he's out of the hospital now. He's gonna get back on track with Pages. I just don't know when. Haven't really talked to him much since he got out like 2 days ago. But I know he has his son over for a few days, so I'm not gonna bug him about it.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him yet either. But all I have is he's just doing cover art for me, so like I'm not really worried about that until the book's done, you know. So
Yeah. And then Alternate Comics, which is a really cool publishing company that's been going around since 2006, I want to say. They publish everything on newsprint like they did back in the day. So all their brand new comics, and each one's a buck or a buck 50. And they have nothing over a buck 50. And I submitted
I would
I submitted
if I was printing color, I'd probably do newsprint just 'cause it's cheaper. But since right now I'm doing black and white, I'm just gonna do glossy or whatever.
I submitted a comic to Alterna and they turned it down, but they have a horror anthology they're putting out. I think at the end of this year. So me and Drew are gonna submit a horror comic to them. We're just gonna come up with a little short story.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah, yeah, and you don't really get any money for it if it gets into their because they're putting out a horror anthology book. But if your story gets in it, everyone who worked on it, they get one copy of the book per page. So if we turn in 10 pages, then me and him will get 20 books, and we'll each get 10 of them.
All
I'm
right.
fine with that.
Yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it just can't be any longer than 16 pages.
Little 16 page. That's easy to write. A little short 16-page script, man.
Well, it could be less than that. It could be 1 page. Might use one from my book actually, because I sent him a free copy of my book when it came out,
Nice.
and I told him we could maybe do one from there if he wants. He said he'll know by next week, I think.
Very nice. All right, dude. You're making moves, my friend. You're making moves.
I hope so.
When I met you a couple of years ago, man, you were like, life is hopeless. Nothing's ever gonna work. And now you're best friends with C2E2. You're gonna, you get to hang out at a table for free. Fucking.
Only for an hour. You know, it's funny because the C2E2 group, they love me, and I posted about my book today, and I was like, I'll sell you guys signed copies for the same price as the unsigned ones. Nobody jumped on it.
How many of the
I
signed
put
ones?
I put
How many of the signed ones you have left? Do you have like 50 of them?
I just bought 50. When I first bought 50, I sold enough to buy another 50. I gave away a lot of that 50 to like, I don't know, to some of my teachers at college so they'd all pass me. Uh, I gave some out to my advisors, a couple of my parents' friends, just being nice. A couple of my friends I gave some to. My cousin stole one. Uh, I think from that first 50, I at least have six of them maybe left. But I have another 50. Uh, that's all signed.
Man, goddamn, Nasser. Did you write second print on those?
No,
Like,
there is no second or first print or anything. It's all print on demand. They only print it when it gets ordered.
yeah, I know, but I know just to fuck with people to get the second one. So like, oh fuck, I missed out on
Well,
the first.
the first 50, I wrote on all of them. First 50, and I wrote 1 through 50, which one it was.
Yeah,
So, so everyone will know if they have those first 50. But besides that, no, they'll all just be normal books.
yep. I just gave my last copy of that away.
Yeah, hopefully something comes of that, right? Hopefully everyone you gave them to will promote it.
Man, hopefully. One person I'm gonna get the copy back when like cause he's reading it and now his wife's reading it and he was like reading it to his son or whatever. And then once I get that back
Wait,
from I'm gonna get
who?
that copy back from him because he doesn't have social media or anything, dude. He has a flip phone. The fuck-
Who is he?
huh?
Who is he?
My buddy James.
Did he like it?
He liked it. He said he liked some of them when last time I asked him about it. But he lives it takes like 40 minutes for me to ride my bike to his house, and especially when it's cold, so I'm not gonna probably see him until it gets a little bit warmer.
Well,
But
yeah, don't let him read it to his kid. You said he was reading it to his kid.
yeah, he's got a little 8-year-old kid.
Yeah, his 8-year old's gonna be scarred for life.
Nah, he reads he proofreads it first and lets make sure like the ones that he does read to his kid are good. Like the first chapter, like that's good. Like he can read that one to his kid. That one's fine. And there's certain stories in there you can read to your kids. That's where it's fine.
Being realistic, there's probably only two or three I'd say you couldn't read to a kid. That I don't know. I would say maybe the youngest person I think I'd be okay with reading my book would maybe be about 16 or so. But I don't know. For an 8-year old, I do think some of them are fine because some of them aren't really gory.
And plus, this kid listens to the music that his dad listens to, which is like Insane Clown Posse and like Twisted and what like crazy stuff like that. So like this kid he's gonna be a wild kid. He's gonna be a good kid, but he's gonna be he's gonna be a little wild on the inside.
Wait, so why are you going to get the book back from him in the first place?
Because I told him that he could borrow it, and then I'm gonna get that
Oh,
one back from him, and I'm gonna give it to someone who can promote it.
uh,
Probably another hot chick. If a hot
I
girl
already
come,
sold one
if a
book
hot
so
girl
far this
comes up
year.
to you and tells you like, "Hey, you should read this book," you might read it.
Eh,
If some random dude
depends what
comes
it's
up,
about.
if some random dude comes up to you and says like, "Hey, you should read this book," you're like, why?
I would say it depends what it's about. It doesn't matter who tells it to me. I don't know. But so far, I've sold one book this year, which I don't know. It could be better, but it could be worse, I guess.
I think Jeremy bought like 3 copies. I don't know.
He bought two of them.
Hell
He
yeah.
Because when he told me he was buying it, I refreshed the sales history and it said I sold two of them. So I was like, "Yo, did you buy one or did you buy two?" He's like, "I bought two." I was like, "Why'd you buy two?" Jeremy's like, "I'm giving one to my nephew." I think he said it was his nephew. And I was like, "How old is he?" I forget what he said. He probably said like 8 or something. And I was like, "Well, it's not going to be okay for him." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, there's some stuff in there he shouldn't be seeing." He's like, "I'll just hold on to it."
He can give it to. He's got a huge family. He can give it to somebody.
I don't know if he's even started reading it.
I started reading the one, and I was all like, "Wait, I'm gonna give this away." And then I was like, while I was reading it, I was all like, "I already read this chapter," and I was all like trying to skip through to see one I hadn't read, and I was all like, I'm gonna do this later." And I set it down, and I don't know what I did. It's like did nothing, like I do most of my days. I don't do shit.
Tim's never gonna read it.
I will,
You really don't do
and
anything with your days. You were right.
I read a lot of it already. Like I've read probably like 5 or 6 of the stories and like several of the poems. So like, and
There's 81 in there.
I have every single update on my Google Docs.
There's 81 in there. 81 stories and poems combined. I'd say you've probably seen at least 20.
Something like that. That sounds about right.
I don't know.
That's what I said. I said several. I didn't say mm, like most. I just said several, and that 20 is several.
I don't know. Then it shouldn't be that difficult for you to find one you haven't seen before.
But now I don't have the book anymore.
Oh, you ordered like 4 copies,
Well, I gave them all away.
and feel free to order 4 more.
I know I will. I will. I'll get to it.
Nah, put all your money towards your own book first.
Mm, I had a really good episode with Mark. I'm gonna do another one with Mark and Jeremy. We're gonna talk
You know,
about. I got this really good
no,
idea. You're gonna
Mark,
love it. I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't want to spoil it. It's gonna be really fun though.
I heard the one with Mark, and then I hear all your other ones with all your guests, and I'm like, these are such good episodes, and I'm gonna get on this show and have a good episode, and this is like my third time on your show. Well, I told you not to post the second one, but you did it anyways.
I
So this is my
loved it.
third time on your show, and every single one, I feel like we've been boring. Like I feel like nobody's gonna like this episode.
I feel like every single one of them's boring. So like it doesn't. I mean, not really, because I really loved last week's. That one was really exciting. Just because I love talking to Chris and I love talking to Beatty, and like those guys will always blow my mind. And I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I
Look,
feel like everyone's boring. Like there's always gonna be a little bit of dead space. There's always gonna be a little bit of whatever. Like we're trying to figure out something because like,
that's why I told you to write down some questions.
and I'm not gonna do that. Like, because this like we're master story. I mean, we're not master storytellers yet. You are, but like I'm not.
You
Dude.
say that.
You've surpassed me by far. Like I don't know about. I'm not necessarily sure about content quality. I'm not knocking you or anything. I think your stuff is great, but like, like, and this was like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like I'm slacking in like everything I'm doing right now with storytelling. Like, I think everything I write is just like mediocre at best.
Yeah,
You
me
know?
too. But I mean, you at least got to get it down on the page. You just
Yeah,
sleep all day.
I know. We're getting there. I got the page open right now. You'll see it when I record or when I publish this on Monday. It says Night Fan. I'm number 25. Right there on the page. And I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. I think I'm gonna do some stuff with Rick. That's his name, right? The like the Punisher dude. Fucking
No,
with
Russell.
Russell. Yeah, Russell. Fuck. I'm gonna do something with him, like opening with him, and do some fucking little backstory. Not little backstory, but fucking see what his hideout and shit looks like. Kick it with his partner. Fucking what was his name? Jimmy.
Yeah.
Fucking I might do some shit with that, and then open back up like with Fred.
All right,
Like
that sounds good.
Fred will be on the Fred will be on like the hunt for like Liam and whatever.
Yeah.
But in the same time he's gonna cross paths with Russell on Russell's radar or whatever, and then Russell's gonna send Gabe after him, whatever. So there's gonna be a little cross conflict in there.
I
Just
don't know if he's. I don't even know if Gabe is still with Russell at this point. I thought Gabe ran away.
Yeah, but then there's also we spent a little bit of time away from them, dude. Russell probably got him again. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, happens.
I don't know. I'll do something, or yeah, Russell can attack him, or like have some little traps or whatever set. I don't know, but yeah, he's gonna. I want to bring Russell in for just a little quick, and also just to uh get him further from the chase with Liam, because I don't know what exactly you want to do with that. So like, I
Oh
don't
no,
want to.
I had no plans for that.
I don't want to interfere with what exactly you're trying to do with that. So I can just throw in a
I
fucking
already
side
told you.
distraction for like.
I already told you all my plans. So if you want to do something with that, you can. Because that I had no clue what I was doing with that.
See, all right, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. I'll think of something. It'll be cool. I like Night Phantom. It'll be fun to write.
Yeah, same.
Man, man, dude, I gotta get up to 25 on everything to see what you come up with. Like, I'd really like to see what you would write on a super emu or even a mushroom boy. Really love to see what you write on a mushroom boy episode or issue.
I might already have ideas for that, but we'll see. I'm not going to say anything here. I don't like talking about characters that people don't know yet. I mean over these videos. If it
Right,
was in the
right. Because
mess.
then they'll be like, "What are they talking about?" A lot of people I know who Mushroom Boy is. They know who Super Emu and stuff is because like they're my friends, and I've been drawing these characters since I was like 15. So then, but yeah, but then there's other people that listen. Like there's some uh, I think Brian Anthony just became a subscriber last night. He started listening, so like he's gonna have no idea what the fuck these characters are, and I don't know, but that's just so fun to talk about, and it just like when I do talk
It
about it,
really
it
is.
inspires me to start typing and shit. So
Yeah, you really just got to keep writing even when you don't feel like it. That's why what Dalen told me one time, he was like, you can't get published if you don't write. So every time I don't feel like it, I just remember those words and I just go ahead.
oh, I
It's
always
all
feel
you can
like it.
do.
I just don't know what I'm gonna do. I always I
You
every
don't
moment of every day
have to.
I feel like it, but like I was almost getting to the point I was all like I need to hire somebody to record stuff that I say like for like the dialogue and the content and whatever, and then just have them type everything I say out, and then I'm like, boom, it's me writing it, but they're doing the work. I'm just talking.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but is life's not that easy.
I
I'm
know.
sure somebody would do it, but you would have to get the money
I know
first.
I'd have to
And
pay him, and I'll that I'm that and I'll do. I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna do that later once we're established. That's how I'm gonna write. Like people are like, dude, how does he write the scripts? Like he doesn't write them. He just talks in a room. someone
I
else
don't know.
writes. Someone else writes down the words that he says down. He doesn't do anything at all. He just sits in an office. That's my dream. That's my dream right there. Because as much as I love writing and like telling the story that way, my true favorite aspect of telling the story is verbal communication and since I have a little bit of a theater background, I can also I can act the shit out and like I can even play multiple roles. Like I'm like I did this once in college where we had an odd number of people and we had to prepare this dialogue from Macbeth, and and everybody got paired with somebody except for me. I didn't get a partner because I don't know I didn't have any I don't know what it was like because everybody was like went around and picked somebody. I didn't have a partner, so I went and fucking I did this whole dialogue, and then when it came time to perform it, uh, I played both parts, and then I just turned around. Every time I had to switch my character, I just turned around or whatever, and I was the other guy. And like everybody loved it. They thought it was beautiful. They were like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like I had no idea how you were gonna do this, but you did it. Because even the teacher was all like, "I can stand in and be the other character for you," and I was all like, because we like the project was we had to play both roles anyways. So I just did it in one fucking sitting. I was all like, "I know I already got this. I can do this." So I just did both. Boom, and it was and that's where I think I'll strive the best. And that's one of the reasons I like stand up comedy, dude. It's a good spoken word.
Dude, did you see the new Dave Chappelle ones?
I haven't seen the newest one because I heard he has got the third one out now. I haven't seen that one out yet, but I saw this. I
Oh,
saw
this is the third.
this.
Or no, because he put up two new episodes. I think like it in the last few days there was like two new ones.
Oh, Chappelle show
No, not Chappelle show.
or
Dave
just
Chappelle did. Uh,
I know he did the two on Netflix last year.
yeah,
And then those two new ones.
yeah. There's two new ones. As far as
Oh,
I know, they're new because everybody just started talking about them within the last week.
oh shit, damn.
Yeah, and he talks about some of the recent stuff, like the Louis C.K. stuff and all that.
Okay, I haven't seen that shit yet. Okay, and
I'm
you
pretty
already
sure
know
they
how
just
I
put.
feel. You already know how I feel about the celebrity witch hunt. I did a Facebook Chronicles episode on that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not against it, but like I think there's other shit if you going on that's way worse than the
I don't know.
celebrity.
I don't like to get too political anymore on these things because I don't want to drive away anybody that I would possibly work with, or I don't want to drive away people that would possibly like the material I'm trying to put out. So
Yeah,
that's why I don't want politics. I don't want to alienate anybody.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I feel you on that one. I, yeah, but
Yeah, but
that's what I was saying though. That's one of the reasons I like stand up comedy though, is just because it's one of the it's a good verbal aspect of storytelling, and I think it's always gonna that it's always gonna thrive, and it's only getting stronger. Like it used to really not be a thing, but now you got like awesome celebrities like Bill Burr, like as much as
I
I'm a
love
Louis
Bill Burr so
C.K.
much.
and I'm a Louis C.K. fan, or whatever. Like I no matter what he did in the whatever shit, like I'm still gonna be a fan of his content. I may not be a fan of his character, but I'll be a fan of his content anyway. It makes me laugh, and like I like it, you know, like and there's always that thing too, like someone can have a shitty character, but they can always have beautiful content or whatever. You know, like there's
Yeah,
like or the other way around. Someone could have beautiful character but shitty content, like Rob Liefeld. He's like a really cool guy here, like to kick it with, and he's like great, and he like donates to charities and shit. But he just does shitty work, you know, like
Dude, he is like the coolest dude in comics. Like I see him on Twitter. He's talking about basketball. He's talking about Archie. I guess he watches Riverdale. He
yeah,
talks about all the stuff I'm into. I'm like, he's just the coolest dude.
yeah. See, he's a cool guy. He just does shitty work, you know. And there's nothing against him, you know. It's just like so there's always that thing, you know, like you can always respect somebody's work but not their character. Like I like I like uh uh fuck, I can't fucking think right now. Like some
Yeah,
basketball
what else is
players.
new?
Like some basketball players, you know, they're like great athletes but shitty people, you know? Like or
Yeah, I feel.
you know, it just happens. And that's gonna happen anywhere you go where like some people are amazing in something and just complete dickheads in the social aspect of life. Or
Yeah,
yeah. And but I don't know.
I can't hear.
What?
All I got was a bunch of static there for a second.
There
I don't
was
know if
just
you
a
said
bunch of
something.
there was just a bunch of static. I was like trying to say something, but I didn't have my words straight. Uh, I don't know. I feel like storytelling is just like always just gonna keep on like it's there's gonna be some parts of it that are gonna be shitty. Like there's the gossip, there's the there's there's the stuff that like the scandals against people because that's storytelling. You know, journalists are they're just telling the story. They're just trying to get some shit out there. News report, you know, everybody's just telling the story. Sometimes it's their job. Sometimes sometimes their job to spin the truth. You know, that's always going to be a shitty aspect of storytelling. Like for people just like make up shit about celebrities or politicians or whatever. And but I think it's just going to continue to evolve. You know, with even with plays and comic books and every I think everything's going to always exist. Like comic books, I think comics are always going to exist, even in page format. Even though digital is like getting more. I think it might be getting more and more popular. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't get into it. If I had a
It is,
tablet,
but I don't really read that much digital.
unless I had a tablet or something, I wouldn't be able to really get into it. But I think yeah, I think it's just gonna continue to evolve and just grow and like people are just gonna tell better and better stories. Although like we are gonna recycle old ideas, but like some of the best ideas have already been done. You know, and
Well,
then
this reminds me of something I heard Stephen King say about there only being a few good ideas. It's just the different ways you execute it. Like he said something about scrambled eggs. Like he's like, there's a billion different ways to eat eggs. He's like, you could scramble them or hard boil them or sunny side up, whatever. But
yeah,
he's like, you could take the same thing and do it like a bunch of different ways.
yeah, but it's always just gonna be your thing. You know, like and you're always and everybody's always gonna have inspiration from other pieces. You know, and you're like, oh yeah, dude, like I came up I came up with Legend of Baranto off of playing Breath of Fire 3 when I was a kid for PlayStation. And it was a character that could turn into a were tiger. And then that shit blew my mind as a kid. So and then me and my friend we'd act out the characters like in the basement and stuff when we weren't playing PlayStation. We would like sword fight and stuff. And and then we come up with our own characters, and then like those are also some characters I'm gonna bring into my comics later. Some of the other characters we'd act out like they were like these alien ninjas, but like they're not gonna be ninjas anymore. They're just gonna be aliens. They're gonna be from the same solar system that the director from Team Evolution's from, but from a different planet. And but the so then I came up with this character Baranto, and he was like, and he came up with this character Ryu that like I guess he was just ripping off Breath of Fire because every Breath of Fire game had a character named Ryu that could turn into dragons, and then he was just ripping off that because he was Ryu and he could turn into dragons. But I was this dude Baranto, and I was only dripping off Breath of Fire just from the dude that could turn into a were tiger because that's what my guy could do, dude. He could turn into a were tiger, and I would draw him, and he was all badass. And even though like I couldn't draw worth shit back then, but I would draw him, and he'd be all badass, like ferocious and shit, and and then we get really into it, and it'd be fun. And then I'd start writing fan fiction about our own characters or whatever, and I was writing a little book about it. And like up until we got like middle school, I was writing this book, and one of my friends got a hold of it. It was in a notebook I had. He got a hold of it, and he started reading it. He's like, "Dude, this is awesome." I was like, "Really? You think so?" He's all like, "Yeah, dude, this is like one of the best things I ever read." I'm all like, "No way, dude." He's not like, I'm like, that was coming from like someone that was like 12, you know. But
Yeah.
still,
Oh no.
I guess it was pretty good. So then I started writing other fan fiction about stuff. Like I started writing Final Fantasy VI fan fiction. I started writing like all sorts of this little shit, and the internet was barely a thing back then. You know, like oh,
Um.
it was a good time, man. It was a really good time.
I don't know. Honestly, everything's a remix. There's a documentary I've seen called "Everything's a Remix." We probably talked about it before. I don't know if you
Probably.
watched it, but if I had to pick out like the most original stories that I've ever read, where I could say like I can't pinpoint what it was inspired by or what they drew inspiration from, like without any similarities to anything else. There's probably only a handful of stories I could pick out. Maybe Carrie by Stephen King. There's Rachel Rising by Terry Moore. That's a comic book. There's the manga Uzumaki. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name because I don't know how to say it. But like those are real original things, and I just try to stay as original as possible. But you could probably, when you read my stuff, you could probably find where those people inspired me.
Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube videos on the Wisecrack channel where they'll like where they analyze the like show. They do a lot of Rick and Morty or whatever. Where they'll talk about like or
Dude, I
oh
love Rick and Morty
they'll
with a
oh they'll
passion.
they threw in this Freudian slip freaking reference or like and then they threw in this I'm like what if they really didn't? What if they just were just writing their fucking like they weren't thinking about any of this fucking whatever shit. Like, yeah,
Dude,
they'll like to throw in Easter eggs from other shows like Gravity Falls and Back to the Future and whatever. Like they have fun and do all that little shit in the background, but like what if they're not fucking doing any of this whatever deeper shit that you're talking
dude,
about Wisecrack. I'm just using Rick and Morty for example, you know, but they'll do other shit like that too. They'll talk about like the philosophy of Saw or like the philosophy, like any, like all sorts of shit, and then they'll just go and talk. And I'm like, dude, what if they're just what if they didn't think about any of that shit in mind, dude? They're just writing a script, you know,
dude, that's what pissed me off about high school. They're all like, we don't. We'd have like a test, and they'd be like, "All right, question 12. What did the author what what do you think they were really meaning when they said the curtains were blue?" And I'm just like, it's like there's no deeper meaning to the curtains were blue. It's just they just picked a random color. That's how it always goes.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah, and I like. And then when I watch and I read this stuff and I'm all like, oh man, do I need to put more research or whatever into my work, and then it stuns me for a little bit, and
Nah, you
and
see
and
that
then
that's your problem. You spend too much
but then
time.
when I think deeper into it, I'm all like, no, I'm just gonna write. You know, like if they like it, they don't. If they like it, they like it. They don't, they don't. Whatever, fuck them. You know, like
You see, that's what I was trying to say. Was you spend too much time like worrying? I feel that you don't get the work done. I know I worry probably more than you do, but not to like to my own horn, but like I really do just eventually say screw it and just start writing. But I
Like
feel sometimes you just
I know
drag
you
on.
do. I know you do because you'll pump out like 85 scripts an hour. I'm like, what the fuck?
I
It,
think the most I did in one day maybe was 5 or 6 in one day, but
my phone will vibrate off the desk from your fucking email and the scripts like.
I don't know what it is. I mean, it's just the format is easy to get things out very quickly. I guess.
And I'm like, God
I don't
damn,
know.
dude, 2 years ago, you're like, I don't know what to write, I don't know what to do. And now you're like, fuck it, dude, I'm fucking doing it. I don't know. If it sucks, it sucks. I don't know, whatever, dude, fuck it. And I love
Yeah,
that.
that's
I
basically my
love that
plan.
about you.
My plan is I do no planning at all. It's like I don't know. I've been
Oh,
like
I
I've
know.
never been one to plan.
I know.
I never been one. Like no, but I got more to say about that. I never been one to plan, and then one day I was like, I don't know. Everybody always talks about how much they planned it out. I was like, maybe I should plan it out. And then I was reading this book called On Writing by Stephen King, where he just talks about writing, and he's like, I never plan. He's like, you should never plan, and I was like, he's right. And he said the story's made up of three things. He said it's made up of the descriptions, the dialogue, and the characters. He's like, there's no room for plot, there's no room for planning. And I was like, he's right. So I've never been one for planning. And he pretty much confirmed that.
I have no plot for I mean I have a basic plot for Boruto, but I have like really no direction on like because the first book is not gonna have an ending. It's just not. But like the first book is gonna be the strongest book out of the series by far because you're gonna get a lot of good character building and there's gonna be some moments where fucking spoiler alert, where fucking Baranto meets up with his dad, but Baranto lost his memory when he's a child, so like he's never really seen his dad except for when he was like 3 years old, and
I don't know.
he runs into his dad like as well he's a grown man and they fight each other in this fucking tournament or like in this coliseum or whatever, and Baranto's dad like has a feeling like he's met this kid, he's met this dude that he's fighting before, but Baranto's just fucking fighting him. And then later, when when one of Baranto's comrades comes in, after they fought and shit, like they're like hanging out at this table, whatever. Because Baranto's dad ends up winning. Baranto throws the fight because he's really just in the Coliseum to get some information. He ends up throwing the fight and and then one of his comrades comes in where they're like Baranto, and then his dad hears that name, and they're all and like and he because that's what he named his kid, and he's all like oh fuck like, and then he goes off whatever, and then this is the point where his dad's all like hey. Like he doesn't tell him that he's his dad, but he goes like, "Hey, I want to hire you for a job," and then they go on this fucking mission to fucking rescue his mom. And that's gonna be how that's gonna be what the fucking that's gonna be like if they go on this mission and like they succeed that mission. That's gonna be at the end of the first book or whatever, where fucking Toronto parts ways with his parents, and his parents know that that's him, but he doesn't know that's his parents. And like he just goes off and like continues his fucking journey.
Yeah. Another thing about not planning is that I think if I don't know where it's going, then when you read it, you won't know where it's going, and I think that's a little bit better. So it's not totally predictable. Um,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. I mean, I guess that's just like life too, because our lives are like largely unplanned. Like we don't really plan what's going to happen or know what's going to happen. And I don't know. To me, that's when you write the characters like that, where you write their lives as them not knowing what's going to happen. That seems a little more realistic to me. If you like to read realistic stuff, which it really depends, because I like fiction and a lot of it isn't realistic. But
Right,
I think you get what I'm saying.
and that's why if I can't get like a realistic setting, because if I don't really understand, like if I'm doing like some government stuff, whatever, I'll at least try to get the dialogue to sound or look like that's what people would really be saying. You know, like you've commended me on good dialogue, and I think you're getting really stronger at dialogue too. And 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 that's one thing I really enjoy writing anyways is like a good conversation or just like a good exchange like with people arguing or like just a good exchange like even if there's a group setting, I can throw in some just random whatever, and that's one of the things I really enjoy the most about writing.
Honestly, the way I learned to write the best dialogue is watching or listening to old radio shows because when you're focusing just on the voice, you you get a better focus. Or sorry, I messed that up. When you just focus on the voice, you get a better idea of how communication works. And I've listened to like probably over 100 hours of radio shows. I have like uh, almost like 1,400 hours of radio shows on my computer, and I just listen to them. A lot of them have good forgotten ideas that you not necessarily steal, but you could draw a lot of inspiration from or do
Oh
something
yeah,
based on.
oh
But
yeah,
like,
dude. Like,
but like, especially the way people talk. Sorry to interrupt you there, but especially the way people talk, and most of these are from like the '70s, back when people communicated better than they do now. Because a lot of people, I'm not one of those anti-phone people. I love my phone, can't live without it. But a lot of people forgot how to communicate because of
oh,
phones.
absolutely.
See, yes, especially.
I grew up through that transition, because like we had the phones on our wall or whatever, and if you wanted to talk to more than one person, you'd have to spend your parents' money and fucking do three-way calling. And then when your parents got the fucking bill on the next month, they're like, "You were three-way calling again. You're not allowed to talk on the phone for a week." and and so yeah, I grew up during that transition, so I definitely know what you're talking about. Because like if I went to a bar in the '90s, which I couldn't because I was a kid, but if I went to a bar in the '90s, dude, everyone's fucking laughing and watching the game and having a good time and playing pool and shit. You go to the bar now, and like yeah, there's a few people like interacting or whatever here and there, playing pool, whatever. Most time, like the people that are sitting at the bar, like staring at their phones, like pretending like they're waiting for somebody to show up. Like
Yeah, like
and
I don't know. I don't really go out much. I don't
I know
really
you
have many
don't, but
people
I'm
I hang out
just
with.
saying it's fucked
I
up.
was making another point, Tim. But when I do hang out with those people, especially the ones that are real social, those people, I just listen to how they talk, and I feel that's really what helps me write better is listening to the way people talk. That helps me
Oh
write
yeah.
realistic dialogue.
Oh, but I had a point when you were talking about radio shows, and I loved radio shows. Like we had to do one in high school in my freshman drama class. We had to make a radio show, and we had to come up with our own sound effects and all sort. We had to write our own script, and also it was cool, and it was just cool just to get back in that feeling of how they used to do stuff, where like and like how they used to fake gunshots and like all sorts of cool, or like this the sound of like a door opening, like with like turning, like they would do all sorts of cool shit, and the a lot of people like it was just stuff that you take for granted, that you don't really think about. Well, but then people would gather around, like especially back in the day when radio shows were real popular and you didn't have a television. People like you sat around and you tuned into your favorite radio shows, and it was like it was a cool thing, I have a lot of respect for radio shows.
If I had some decent editing software, I would try to put together at least one episode of a radio show.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. We had to do it on a cassette tape, like a freaking.
Man, you sound like my dad now.
We had to do it on a cassette tape. It was so fun. Cause that's how they did it live. Everything they did that was live. That was being recorded live. So like That's how you
Well,
got to
actually,
do it.
somewhere,
That's how you got to do it,
somewhere,
man. That's how you got to do it, man. Like the radio was, it still is live. The radio still is live, you know. So
yeah,
like,
but some radio shows are, well, when they were coming out back in the golden age of radio, some of them were live, some of them were already recorded, but they didn't. I remember reading up on the CBS Radio Mystery Theater. Those ones were made fairly quickly. They had like under 2 days to get them done, then like to write a script and record it.
yeah. So
So
like
I
when
don't
they
know. I like
recorded it,
the
they probably did like a total of like 3 takes when they recorded it, you know, and then they could probably splice the best shit together into one good take, you know, like
also because because the only difference between a radio show and a book is somebody saying it out loud. Like if you read the radio show, it would read like a book. That's another way to learn great ways to write narration and stuff is to listen to the old radio shows. So that's a lot of what I do. I have like 1,400 episodes almost of the whole CBS Radio Mystery Theater downloaded. It only costs like $20 if you go to Eddie's OTR. I think it's .com. But you just type in Eddie's OTR on Google and it'll take you there. He has so much old radio stuff, and you could get like the whole CBS Radio Mystery Theater for like $20. That's what I listen to, and it really helps me to describe stuff.
nice. That's one thing I like about plays and musicals. Like if there's a narrator, usually if there's a narrator in that play or musical, that it's gonna be a background character that you see like randomly just like sweeping their driveway, like or doing some random shit, and then like when the whole cast clears, that one character stays and then comes out, and then they hit the
Yeah,
spotlight on them, and then they do like a whole little speech of what's going on, and then boom, they go back into their little background role, and then you don't, and then they'll come back later on in like a whole other scene, like at a dance party or whatever. It's some random dude sitting at the bar, and then fucking boom, he'll come back, he'll come out and whatever, and do his little like tell you what's going on. I,
that's basically
I
like how it is in Twilight Zone and Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and
yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, you have some random, yeah, absolutely. Like they got a lot of those old school actors had theater backgrounds and stuff, so they got a lot of their ideas and stuff from whatever technical theater and just getting a lot of stuff like that. And that's one of my favorite things is like I noticed that if I watch the Drew Carey show, I don't know if you're a fan of Drew Carey show, but I watch a Drew Carey show and I notice a lot of things like in that show that is like a lot of like old school, like high school or college theater type acting or like how they move and like because there's certain ways you move on stage or it's gonna be different from screen because like there's certain ways you have to turn because you're for the most part you're not allowed to turn your back to the audience. Besides, like there's some times where you have to if you're like walking toward like if you're turning around and walking towards a whole different direction or whatever. But 90% of the time you're not allowed to have your back towards the audience. So like when you're acting and performing on stage, like telling that story, like you have to be at least like 3/4 like functional at all times or whatever to
yeah, yeah, acting's pretty cool. My little sister's getting into it. I wouldn't have minded getting into it when I was younger. That was one thing I debated on when I was younger. When I was younger, I was thinking either actor or artist when I was a little kid, and then when I was like 10, I said screw it to art, and I kind of forgot about acting.
you can do good art.
Uh,
One of
no, I
these
can't draw this life.
one of these days we're gonna spend a whole day drawing, dude. We'll have a little office and shit set up. And like I feel like I'll get a lot of work done if I have an office right next door to like we have the office and we have like the same room and we sit like a desk but we're like either like next to each other or we're like facing each other. But like we have a really sweet just little
That's what she
office
said.
so with a barista and shit. I feel like it'd get like a lot more work done. Even though I don't drink coffee, I don't think you do either. We'll just have
No,
it.
I don't.
We'll have one for tea. I drink tea.
Yeah, me too. But I don't know. You would get a lot more done if you stopped worrying. That's the biggest thing.
No, I don't worry as much as I say I worry. I just spend a lot of time just like I do a lot of research, and then I just spend a lot of time just not doing shit, and then my dog bothers me, and then he pisses me off. And I don't know. I, I don't know. I just spend a lot of time not doing shit. I have docs open. I plan on writing at least one of I have two half written scripts from last month that I gotta
Didn't
finish.
you finish- Why didn't you finish the first before you half wrote the second?
Cause I was bored with Nick's Man and I had ideas for the other one, so I was like, I'll just jump to that one right now.
I don't know. You see, what I do is, besides getting distracted from YouTube, uh, I'll open the script, and even if I get bored halfway through, I won't let myself do anything else until I finish it. I don't know. Sometimes I'll check my notifications. I mean, I'm pretty much glued to my phone, but uh, I don't know. I don't like stopping halfway through on one and then jumping to another one.
Right, 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 right.
Right.
Hmm. I don't know. We'll get there. I have enough content right now that needs to just
You
I have enough
probably have.
I have enough content done right now that it's gonna take its time to get printed anyways. So like I don't feel rushed at all right now. But I was watching this morning. I was just watching Neil deGrasse Tyson say something, and where he was having an interview with Larry King, and Larry King is all like. Well, he asked Larry King, is like, if you could live forever, could you? Larry King's all like, oh yeah, absolutely, I would. And and then And Neil deGrasse Tyson's all like, no, dude. See, when I die, like I wanna give back. I wanna be buried, so my body goes back and gives back to the earth or whatever. And he's all like, well, don't you? He's like, and then Larry King's like, don't you want to know? Like, don't you know? Don't Are you curious about what happens in life? He's all like, I am curious about what happens in life. He's like, the only thing I want to do in my life right now is that I just want to leave some sort of impact. Like, I don't want to live a life where I didn't do anything. And then I was thinking about that, and I'm all like, hell yeah, dude. I'm not an astrophysicist like you, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm not like one of the world's leading scientists and shit right now. But you know what, dude, I do have a fucking gift, and I can fucking do that shit, and I'm capable of doing that shit, and there's really nothing stopping me from doing that shit. So why not? And so that was it was a really good. Okay, if I can find it again, dude, I'll link you to it. It was a good short little interview. It was nice. It was inspiring.
I don't know. I feel the only thing that holds us back is money.
That's really it. But that's not holding me back from writing. That's not holding me back from just getting my word out there. But from printing and getting published, yeah, definitely money is holding us back.
I don't know. The money to print and then to print and then distribute it and then having to do all that, that's what really has turned me off from trying to like run my own publishing company. That's why I'm trying to just use Image Comics because it'd be a
That's
lot
what I'm saying.
easier.
And if that doesn't work, dude, this if SC doesn't work with Image, dude, then have it be part of VA.
I suppose. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably have to work a crappy job though to pay for printing and all that. You know.
Yeah, that's what we got to do for now, man. Like that's
I,
grin and bear it. That's
I am looking for my next crappy job right now while I pitch these comics to Image. I'm looking for my next crappy job, but I hope it doesn't last for long.
same
Like I
here.
made
Same
a
here.
resume
I'm looking for one as well.
because like I'm tired of retail, so I made a resume. I'm applying to like newspapers and stuff, but we'll see what happens.
Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, I think when I pick up my comic books, I'm gonna do that tomorrow. It was way too cold today. When I pick those up tomorrow, I think I'm gonna see if they're hiring. I know they're not. They have a Rockford location somewhere, and I would go there too. I hear it's nicer.
Yeah, I ask the ones by me like every month. I'm like, "Y'all hiring?" And they're always like, "No." I don't know. I swear there have been times where I've seen like new people there, like I don't know. There's some shops I go to more than others.
Right, right. Well, that's a that's quite a bit there for time there, buddy. And
Yeah.
yeah, and we got some solid content in here, and I appreciate you for coming on, dude. I love talking to you as much as you think I don't. I like talking to you.
Next time I'm on here, we'll talk about Archie. It comes back in like, oh well, Riverdale. I mean, Riverdale comes back in like 12 days.
Oh man, dude, I can't wait for yeah, dude. As all the CW
No,
shows are
no
coming,
spoilers here though. No
are,
spoilers here though.
are all
But
the
but
are all the Riverdale shows coming back next week?
you mean all the CW shows?
Yeah, that's what I meant. CW shows.
I don't know because I haven't started this season of any of them besides Riverdale.
Shit, because I know Legends isn't coming back for a while. They just brought in John Constantine. I know they're not coming back for a while because they're replacing their time slot with Black Lightning.
Yeah, but I'm excited for Riverdale. So after we both watch this newest episode, then
Oh
I
yeah,
guess
we
that
could
could be the
totally
next.
do. We could totally do a Riverdale episode, man. I haven't read any of the comics, so all I know about
I've read a
Archie,
couple.
all I know about Archie right now is what's going on in Riverdale, and I'm pretty sure the new comics are pretty like similarly dramatic or whatever. They look like it.
Well,
He's got a band and shit called the Archies. I've seen like
this
that's got a couple
depends
issues out now. Uh,
because a lot of the Archie titles are independent of each other. So I know there's the Archies with the S at the end.
yeah, that's the
That's about the
band.
band.
That's the band.
But
Yeah,
then there's the regular Archie title, which is totally different.
yeah. Then
The Archie title,
there's a Riverdale title too.
yeah, the regular Archie title, which is the main continuity. They're on like issue 26 or 27.
Yeah,
I've only
something
read the
like that.
first,
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Yeah.
but I have to number 10.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't. If I
But
can find
the
like a trade paperback of like the first like 8 or what 10 or whatever, I'll buy that. See what it's about. Uh,
Not to have too much of the closing time here, but the best Archie comics you could get are Afterlife with Archie and Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I mean, that's your opinion, man.
Those are the best ones. Nah, dude, you got to read it. You got to read it,
I'm telling you, dude. All I want to read for Archie is comic or Sonic the Hedgehog. That's the only Archie titles I'm really
dude.
interested in reading.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, okay, Afterlife with Archie. I mean, I have mad respect for The Walking Dead, but I kind of want to say Afterlife with Archie is a better zombie title.
All right, all
I
right,
no, no, no.
all
You're
right.
not gonna. It sounds funny now, but read it. It's beautiful.
All right, I might check it out. I might check it out. My my comic book fund's a little tight right now. I think I'm only gonna be getting
Yes.
spectacular.
Well, you can find it online.
What?
So you can just find it online. You can just read it digitally for free.
Nah, I can. Okay. I only read manga. I only read manga online. I don't like reading real comics online. I just called manga not real comics. I should shoot myself. But uh, I don't like reading American comics online as much as I like reading manga online.
All right. All right.
Uh,
Well, I guess that's it for now, right?
that is. I like to thank you again for coming on my show. Like again, this boy has a horror book out. We've mentioned it throughout the episode. Uh, Strange Tales and poems from the Witch's Cauldron. Again, I'm gonna post a link in the description below. You can order it on Amazon. Fucking it's great, dude. It's I've read several of the stories, and for the ones I have read, I liked a lot. So, and I'm gonna read them again when I order more copies of the book. And yeah, I don't know, man. That's gonna call it close, man. We'll see you next week when we talk about how NASA's gonna be sending dolphins into outer space and um how French fries might be the healthiest food in America. Right?
All
All
right.
right. See you next week, guys.
See ya.